Hi, we're Marla and Dave, and this is our Loving Beyond Reason video vlog. This is a vlog number 2, as a matter of fact.
Now, the last time we were outside, sunny day, everything was great, and we promised you that we were going to come back and kind of talk a little bit about trying to see things from the perspective of
Those
the
that are
loved one that
affected.
you have, that you're dealing with, that are affected with the brain difference.
Right. So, before we get started, we always want to remind you guys, we are the founders of Loving Beyond Reason, and our nonprofit is focused on assisting families who've made the decision to literally support their loved ones who are affected by mental health challenges and brain differences. And we know how hard it is to make the decision to love beyond what others consider to be reasonable. So this is, all of our vlogs are dedicated to the understanding and the education. You can go and find out more about us, our foundation, at lovingbeyondreason.com, as well as hop online and donate. So you can go to paypal.me
Please. You have a lot. Go ahead.
Loving Beyond Reason.
We have a lot of good things that we were hoping to be able to bring to you in the future, but it requires your help, and your donations go a long way to helping us get there. So anyway, one of the things that I like to do, and that we like to do, and that we found helpful, is that when you're dealing with a loved one, especially an adult loved one who is brain different, a lot of times it's difficult to balance giving someone the respect that all adults actually
Need and
desire.
require, right.
Absolutely. And at the same time, be able to deal with some of the maybe a little bit off base things that they might say. And the thing is, the first thing that everyone needs, even those of us, those of our loved ones that have brain differences, they need to be heard. They need to feel that you're hearing what they're saying, you're listening to what they're saying, and that it's important to you. So one of the phrases that I like to use all the time, especially when something I don't necessarily agree with, we never want to lie. We want to say things like, I understand your perspective. I don't necessarily agree, but that's a very interesting outlook, and maybe you can help me understand that a little bit more someday as we talk about it later. You have any suggestions?
Well, not just suggestions, but I think that the point of this, as well as Dave already started, is to share with you guys what it looks like and what it feels like to them. I think that we really, number one, have to step back and recognize that our ability to process and reason and to filter stress and those feelings are not something we process them, and we bring reasoning and the 3 parts of our brain, the wise mind, the reasoning mind, and the emotional mind, come together to create a balance. For someone who's suffering from a brain difference, the reasoning center is not developed enough to override what it is that they're actually suffering with when it comes to mental focus, when it comes to emotional understanding, and when it comes to balancing the situation within their stress center. So what you're going to see is a lot of communication is always going to stem from where they find their greatest deficits. So it's almost like the mind goes to protect them in those situations. And when I say protect them, it protects them from their own feeling of worthlessness, their deficits. And the story that begins to be plugged in is a story of grandeur that doesn't usually match up to the facts of their life. It doesn't match up to how they feel about you. They truly love you, but at times you're going to feel attacked because where they express that, the people who are closest to them, that they love most, are the people in their minds who they're going to generally come against the most. And it's not because they don't love you. It's because the expectation they've placed on you is a projection that's bigger than what they can actually express or realize.
And in those cases, again, everybody needs to be heard. So one of the things that we try to do, whatever your response might be, make sure that you give them the respect that they deserve, and actually understand that what they're doing is a lot harder than what you might consider that you might be going through. Even though what we go through is extremely difficult, imagine what you're going through with the additional stress of feeling like something inside is telling them that you're the enemy. everything around them is coming against them, and how they express and how they understand their own inadequacies comes out as anger toward whatever their environment is.
We want to give you a couple steps before we end. Number one, getting understanding. Rule number one: don't try and break through their delusion by convincing them of your reality. That's
I would say
one.
number two is to always be honest. Whatever you do, do not lie, because that's the one thing that they're looking for to kind of match what they're thinking about the inconsistencies in what you're saying.
And number three and final, and I believe to be the most important, is there's a respect to treat them and to love them as human beings that are just different and are operating outside of your mental reality. And so do not diminish them, put them down, and push them into trying to understand things or process things and operate in the norms that you're operating.
And the more that you have practiced trying to do these things, the easier your situation might become. And all we're trying to do always is trying to help you deal with the very difficult situation that you might find yourself in.
And last but not least, NAMI is the greatest and the biggest mental health alliance. So it's the National Alliance of Mental Illness in the country. There's a chapter in pretty much every state. Look up NAMI, NAMI. Find that, because you're going to go different places, but that's your first resource to the general information that you need to get help for those of who you love in your life who are suffering from mental illness. So that's something that we believe in. They saved our lives, gave us an understanding. We've gone to family. There's a lot of things that NAMI has done to help us understand, to help my family, and to put us back on the right track. We haven't solved this, which is where you come into play, but we're working on it every single solitary day. And we are a family and parents who's decided to love our loved ones who suffer beyond what's reasonable. So join us in that fight. Please post your questions below. Give us, literally, reach out. We're more approachable than you may think. So if you see these vlogs, by all means, and this is 1 in 5 people are affected, break the stigma. Don't feel bad. We're here. We are absolutely here. I'm here. And even, whatever happens, whether we're days in and out of town or whatever the case is, we're always available via cyberspace.
And again, our website is lovingbeyondreason.com or .net, even .org. The issue is, make sure that you reach out, come meet us and speak to us and share with us your stories as we try to share with you and try to erase the stigma from mental illness.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.